Yes, good evening. My name is Wallace Gator Bradley, and I'm the president of United Peace Inc. And my viewing audience, we got a very, very powerful informational story, especially in light of the fact of the guilty verdict that just came down on Mr. Van Dyke.
Yes.
Mr. Van Dyke. And I got a very special guest here, which is attorney Angela Lockett, and her and myself, if that's the righteous way to say it, or let me say it as an urban translator. Me and her were having a conversation about what's going to happen with this verdict. We don't want no riot of the citizens of the city of Chicago, and we don't want the police to get mad because of the verdict. And that's why she's here, to let you know that you as a citizen have a right to remain silent till you get an attorney.
That's correct.
Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct. And how are you doing?
I'm good, Attorney Lockett. Hey, could you tell our viewing audience now
Okay.
who you are and what you do?
Okay, so my name is Angela Lockett, and I am a criminal defense attorney here in Chicago, and I also work for First Defense Legal Aid. And what FDLA does is that we are a non-for-profit, and we provide legal services to those who are arrested or detained by the Chicago Police. If they give us a call at 1-800-LAW-REP-4, we will send a lawyer to the police station for free within an hour to make sure the person is not being abused, to make sure they exercise their right to not speak, and just to be extra eyes on them in that situation. And so it's a free service, and we're there within an hour, and we're available 24/7, 365 to everybody in the city of Chicago.
Attorney,
yes.
Could you give them that number again in numbers?
In numbers, it is 1-800, you gotta excuse me, 529-7374, which is
1-800-529.
Yes, 7374.
Right. And I became blessed to work with Attorney Lockett and Fairlinks and a host of other community organizations from 5 different wards to get this information out to you based off of the fact of what the 17th Ward Alderman David Moore did when he pushed for the city council to pass an ordinance to provide the funds to inform the community of their rights. And what this lady, along with guys, have done was come together to inform the public of your rights and provide an attorney in the many police districts within the city of Chicago, and I believe the county of Cook, but I do know the city of Chicago, where there will be an attorney there to represent anyone who has been arrested. Caller, I see you coming, but let me say this.
Yeah, this is James.
Hey, James, hold on 1 minute, James. Hold on 1 minute.
Okay,
I want to say this. I forgot to say one of the most important things. This show is being produced and directed by a blessing that God gave to me. Okay? And she's also the chairman of United Peace Inc., and that's my wife, none other than Terry Marsh. And I want to say to God be the glory. Now, James, come on and tell me what you got to say.
Okay, the media and some of these other politicians talk about the police is good, and I heard Jason Kwame Donald and that uncle talk about it's some good police. If it wasn't good police, why they always come up for the bad police then?
Well, James, you got to understand this here. I want you to hear me clearly. Everybody, Van Dyke's family, prayed to God for justice. LaQuan McDonald's family and everybody in Chicago prayed to God for justice. And justice was served. So we need to be focused on the justice of the conviction of Van Dyke. And don't let anything else sidetrack us from what's happening, but pay attention to the importance of this show today. And that is what Attorney Lockett was saying, that the people who she's representing, the company, is that the right word to say, company or?
Organization.
The organization that's provided, tell my friend James and everybody else again.
Hello,
who you are.
James. So, like I said, my name is Angela Lockett, and we're discussing First Defense Legal Aid. And so when we get a situation like the one we're in now, where Officer Jason Van Dyke has actually become the first police officer
In 50
to be
years.
convicted in 50 years.
In 50 years.
So we can expect that the officers on the street, especially after this statement put out by the Fraternal Order of Police, that they're feeling angry about this, that they feel like something was done wrong. And so right now in the streets, it may be a more dangerous place than it is usually in regards with the police in our community. And so First Defense Legal Aid is here, and we are here for free if you're being harassed, if you're being taken to the station for no reason, if they're trying to trump up charges on you because they're angry because one of their own finally has been held accountable.
That's right.
For murdering somebody. If there wasn't a videotape, this wouldn't be going on. They would have taken as gospel these
And you know
these
what?
phony police reports that they filled out, that they do all the time, but they get away with mostly because there is no videotape, and unfortunately their word is taken as gold. So
Right.
they may be feeling angry,
Right.
and we just want the community to know that we're here for you.
Right.
If you feel like you're being retaliated against and you're being brought in or you're being arrested, you give us a call and you'll have attorney eyes there with you
Right.
in that situation.
And that's it. You know, I'm glad you brought that up. There's another case that we need to pay very much attention to. Just like what you were saying. There's officers, not all police officers, but there are some officers that felt like Van Dyke did the right thing, even to the point that there's officers that were indicted in a federal court who come up for trial in November. Federal officers lied, conspired over months to cover up for Van Dyke's, the prosecutor is saying. So we got to understand that there's individuals that supported what Van Dyke did.
Absolutely.
Okay? And I want to let our viewing audience know this. On, what is that, October the 9th?
Yes.
Okay, yes. October 9th.
On October the 9th, what we're doing is we're having a kickoff. So when we were discussing First Defense Legal Aid, the city of Chicago has issued or put in place, like you were talking about with Alderman Moore, Community Justice Initiative. And what that is actually 18 wards across Chicago, from the west side, the south side, and the far south side. And so they're doing Know Your Rights trainings to inform the community of how to interact with law enforcement on the street and what your rights are under the 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendment, and also doing these station house visits for people for free. And so this Community Justice Initiative is having a kickoff. There's actually going to be 3 kickoffs.
Right.
So the one for the far south side, which is under Phalanx organization, is going to be October 9th from 4 to 7 at the Universal Entertainment Center on 119th and Loomis.
Right, correct.
So we're going to have information, of course, on Know Your Rights, but we'll have food, we'll have music, you know, we'll have some activities for kids, and basically it's an opportunity for the community to come out to see what we're doing and to support it.
Right. Now, within this one that's on the far south side, the wards, there's a part of that. That's the 34th ward, the 17th ward, the 21st ward, the 9th ward.
And I want to say the 7th.
The 7th and the 8th, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're saying, we as a people do not take lightly justice that has been served by the fact that everyone was praying to God for justice. Pro or con of the Van Dyke situation. Okay, caller, I see you. Could you please state your name and voice your opinion?
Yes, and Gator, this is Steve. And, I had to make a call, and I told Terry, your wife, I am really proud of y'all, too. I remember this group, the young lady that you're hosting, they had a group maybe 4, 5, 6 seasons ago, and they used to talk about that, how people, if you need help and stay acting crazy, what you do when the police arrest you, how to get arrested, and if you need the help, you always could call them, and they will come to the station and get you out. And during that time, it was even more of, I think, a necessity, because during that time, people was just getting arrested and couldn't get out, and then they sent them over to the county, and it was just steady putting people into the county system that maybe just got busted for a joint or something, could not pay $100 to get out. And this group of people, the young lady that you have, they used to come to the station, go to court, come to the court, and get the people out, bond them out. But again, it just shows you, Terry, how life direct us in. Look at you. Just look at you, man. Just look at you.
Hey, Steve, me and you go way, way back like Bloodstone. And you remember when I was wearing them green and gold suits and thought I was somebody. Yeah, and then my mama said, you ain't nobody till you meet this young lady I got for you named Terry. So I am somebody.
Right. But it's really good to get this young lady back and inform people, and you're doing the right thing. Let's help some of these people that's in there. Let's get them out that's been in there for a year or two and cannot afford to even get out of there. And there are people with mental issues in there that don't have no business in there. But thank you, Gator. I really appreciate what you and Terry did, and I appreciate this young lady to come back. Like I said, y'all was about 4, 5, 6 seasons ago, they used to have a show on about this.
Yeah.
So again, let me get out the air.
Okay.
And again, thank you,
Steve.
Woman.
Wait.
And
Steve, I want to say this to you before our viewing and listening audience. This is a live stream show, and sometimes people be calling in from all over the country. But one of the things that's important, they didn't stop with the vision that they had for justice. Okay? Mm-hmm. They went and talked to the various aldermen, Alderman Moore, Alderman Kerry, Alderman Kerry Austin from the 34th Ward, Roger Sawyer, who happened to be the chairman of the Black Caucus within the city council, Sister Emma Mitz on the west side, and everything. My thing is this. We have to stop leaving it up to others and waiting for someone to give us a torch to carry and assume the responsibility of leadership.
There you go.
And they went and they talked to the alderman, and that's how it ended up becoming like an ordinance within the city council. You follow what I'm saying? Okay.
You know what, Gator, real quick? What's so shame is the people that have access to do these things, instead of passing it on to people so it could be shared with more people, that's the sin.
Steve, I agree with you, and that's why I'm of the opinion that God created this social media for us to do the right thing. You know what I mean? Just like this show here will be a YouTube in 2 days. We just get the link and we just put it out. And we just share the information. Me and this sister have been knowing each other for years. Okay, I want to say decades. She's no stranger to me.
Right.
And I know the sacrifice that she be doing and representing her clients as a defense attorney. So
Well, I
for
hope she
her
still keep
to
doing
be
it.
leading this charge as a defense attorney for this organization, it's tantamount. You know what I mean? And I want to say this because I see my wife, rolling her head around her head. She know I ain't got no hair. So she said she hear you too, Steve. But you got to let Gator get it in because time is short. I love you, and I want to say to God be the glory for you. Hey, man, she just gave me the okay sign. So I'm doing something correct. Hey, one of the things is this. With that decision coming down, I heard the pastor who's the grand uncle of Laquan McDonald. And like he said, we all got to come together because this is a start to the fact that if you don't vote, you can't change situations. And with that being said, laws can be made based off of this verdict to help change the fact that no police officer, and as a matter of fact, we already know that no one else can get away with senseless shootings and killings.
They can't get away?
They can't get away.
If there's
They just
a
ain't got caught. It was a video for sure.
There's a video. But there are some things that when you're talking about laws and voting, well, first of all, if you register to vote, then you can be on a jury.
On the jury, correct.
So it's important that even if you're not going to vote, which of course everybody should vote, whichever way your heart leads you and that's which way you vote, but you need to be registered to vote so you can get on a jury.
Right, correct.
And so when you're on a jury, the jury are basically who has the power in the end. And in this case, it worked out good for us, but
it did. But you know what it is too? This is just my opinion. When he got on that stand, by the grace of God, when he made a decision to testify, he made it where certain information could be brought to the jury and the public. And two things, the conversation that he had with his partner on his way to the Laquan thing, when he said, I don't know why the police officers didn't shoot the man when he stabbed the tire. And he said, and I'm paraphrasing, when he said, we're going to have to shoot that guy. 2 blocks before he got there. With that, like you were saying, you got an obligation to vote, so you can't scream about the juries being all white and no
you
black.
You should scream about that.
Right. But
you should.
But the plan is this. They could always come back and say, well, if we had more voters than African Americans, but you and I know, Justice,
but you know what? I see these juries, and especially in federal court, where your pool that is a jury of your peers is coming from the Northern District of Illinois. You're not going to have a number of black people there. I've seen voir dire, which is when you call in a jury, of 50 people. And no black person.
I agree with you.
And I have no facts on this. I just know that I have not been called for jury duty.
Well,
and I have been registered to vote and voting consecutively all the time since I've been 18 years old.
Right.
And sometimes when I'm doing voir dire and I'll question somebody, and it's never happened with a black person, but they'll say, this is my 3rd time if I make it on the jury, then I'll be on the jury. How are you on your 3rd and I haven't been called once?
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up, because I have been called for jury duty.
Have you?
Oh yeah, and check it out. It's so wild.
Strike you immediately.
They did. Wait a minute. It's so wild. When I come in, so many people came to sit around me. Because they say, Gator, we know they're not going to pick you, and then we sit around you. They won't pick us because we don't want to be here for $17 a day. But with that being said, I want to say that J.B. Pritzker gave a statement. And it reads Today, J.B. Pritzker and Juliana Stratton released the following joint statement on the guilty verdict in the Laquan McDonald case. Today, Jason Van Dyke was held accountable for his role in the tragic death of Laquan McDonald, and justice was finally served for him and his family, who have already endured so much during this difficult time, said J.B. Pritzker and Juliana Stratton. While there is still so much work to do, we believe his verdict represents an important step, one of many, towards fostering an environment of respect and accountability between law enforcement and the communities that they serve.
Okay. Well,
I want to say this. Hooray, hooray to J.B. Pritzker and Juliana Stratton, and I hope that they support legislation to make it where anybody, not just a gang member, but anybody, if you're a policeman or postman or librarian, if you commit a crime of senseless violence against anyone in the state of Illinois, especially in the county of Cook or in Chicago, Illinois, you're entitled to a fair trial.
absolutely.
And if there's a video, it needs to be a part of the evidence. So everybody with these old smartphones and clever phones, and you see a crime being committed, video it and send it anonymously so we can find justice to senseless shootings and killings of anybody, especially African Americans, and especially by African American to another African American. Caller, I see you. Can you please state your name and voice your opinion?
Yes, my name is Jimmy. Good evening.
Good evening.
The attorney that's with you on the board there, it's almost she was implying that when jurors are identified, or those who are identified as potential jurors, there is a thought that race should be taken into account. You were identifying that you didn't see too many blacks out there as jurors, you haven't been called, so therefore there must be some big grand conspiracy that keeps blacks off of a jury roll. Is that what you are contending?
Well, let me say this before she says something. I am of the opinion that they find all kind of ways to keep African Americans off of juries. Okay? And that's a known fact. But I'm going to let her lay it all because she's an attorney.
So I have no proof of that. I don't know. These are just anecdotal things that I know that I haven't been called. But again, I have no proof of it. But I do know that I've been in voir dire and I've seen no black people. I do know that Jason Van Dyke is no different from most people who go to trial at 26 in California, and the vast majority of them are black when they have only one black person, maybe two, on their jury. So I know that that happens day in, day out, everywhere. I know that it can easily be solved by just redefining what a jury of your peers are. That you can say, right now it's defined as your county, Cook County. It doesn't have to be defined that way. We could say it's within 20 miles of wherever your residence is. We can make it whichever way we want to make it more fair, but are we going to do that? So I have no proof of that. It's just my feeling on it. And so,
okay, but
intuition is a form of intelligence.
Right.
But as an officer of the court, it is your responsibility to at least not put on the table that you think there's some big grand conspiracy out there to keep blacks off of a jury.
Hey, excuse me, sir.
Who are in charge, but we have blacks who are in charge.
Hey, let me say this. And I want to be perfectly clear. I have been called to come and be a juror. But because of who I am, and I am black, and when I see individuals in the jury pool come sit around me that don't want to be on the jury, knowing that they not going to call me as a juror? That's saying something. But one of the things that's very important, the jury that found this man guilty because of the crime that he committed wasn't all black.
Was only one black.
It was only one black, but that doesn't even make a difference at this point.
Right.
They was dealt. Listen to me. Listen to me. I want you to listen to me because I got to wrap it up. I just want to say thank God that the jury that was sitting there dealt with things that was based on evidence. And I want to thank God that he allowed that man to say that he wanted to get on that jury stand, because the jury would have never heard that conversation that he had with his partner 2 blocks from the scene saying, we gonna have to shoot this man. And that became evidence where the jury made the decision that that man was guilty.
Okay, well, moving forward.
Let me just say this to the caller. I'm not saying that that is what's happening. I'm saying that I've been in America. I'm 45 years old, okay? My people have been here for hundreds of years, right? And for those hundreds of years, and from what I've observed, there's always some type of concerted effort to keep black people away from voting and away from being a jurors. Now, you have these voting rules where you want to take the DMVs out of, yeah, you want to suppress it. You want to take the, we have these voter ID laws, and we're going to move the BMVs out of the black neighborhoods. There's always some type of suppression happening. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was happening, even though I have no proof of it.
But the fact of the matter is this.
It's unfortunate that you're an officer. It's unfortunate.
As an officer of the court, I'm telling you that I have no proof of it. I'm not saying that that is what's happening. I'm saying that I wouldn't be surprised if that is what is happening.
But let me ask the caller a question.
Maybe the.
Let me ask the caller. Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Do you feel the verdict that came down in this trial was a correct verdict?
I didn't follow the case closely.
Okay, then with that, let me say, before I get off the air, let me say this. I want to say, first off, to God be the glory for the justice that came down that everybody asked for. And I want to thank you for taking the time away from your family and your business to come to let everybody know this last thing, why we here.
Yes, we are here because on October 9th from 4 to 7 at the Universal Entertainment Center, 119th and South Loomis, we are going to have a kickoff of the Community Justice Initiative for the Far South Side. You are all invited. We're going to have some Know Your Rights training, some information on your legal rights, as well as food, music, fun, so forth.
Hey, with that, I want to thank all my callers for coming in. This is a very opinionated show, and everybody's opinion will be appreciated and respected. And I thank all my callers, especially the last caller. Thank you, and I want to say, to God be the glory. And hey, don't choke, go vote, and vote for J.B. Pritzker.